Yo, what's going on, Kicks Army? Today I'll be doing a sneaker drawing on the recently announced Yeezy Boost 700 V2, as well as giving you guys my expectations for the upcoming NBA season. Let's get it! I'm not gonna lie, I do prefer this pair over the original Yeezy Boost 700s, but I will say this, regardless if it's the V2 or the regular pair, it's not really for me. Like, I kind of like it and it's starting to grow on me a little bit, but I don't know, man. There's something about the outsole that doesn't really work with me. Like, I do find it interesting, the indentations when they have the ovals and then the way the outsole kind of forms of those different lines. It is unique, but it just, for me as a person who looks at sneakers a lot, it doesn't really work too much for what I like. The outsole between this pair and the traditional 700s are both the same. The only difference between the two pairs is the upper. And I will admit that I do like the upper better on this pair than the original pair. I feel like just in general, it just flows a lot better. It's not too crazy, although the kind of dad shoe vibe it has is generally crazy as it is. I just feel like for this particular pair, it works better for me. So far as we know, we only see the one colorway, and by the way, this shoe is expected to release sometime before the end of the year. We don't know exactly when, but we do know that the retail price is going to be around 300 bucks. But when we're looking at the upper, we see a few different types of gray tones, and we see that especially in those center lines where it's kind of waving back and forth, it is a darker gray, and that adds a good amount of contrast to the background mesh that covers the upper of the shoe. And then there are those few hints where it has what appears to be that sail color that kind of hugs the outsole a bit, and for the most part, aside from that, the upper is pretty simple, just those alternating grays. Now, color-wise, I don't mind the shoe one bit. It is pretty plain spaghetti, but for what the shoe is trying to do, it works. But like I said, guys, in terms of the design of the shoe in general, it's just not for me. And let's say hypothetically, in a hypothetical scenario where it is for me, I do like these sneakers. You guys already know I'm not copping these sneakers. I'm not copping anything. You guys know the story by now. I am broke. Then on top of that, that $300 retail price point is not the sexiest thing I've ever seen in my life. So I'm gonna take a hard pass on that. But if you guys are interested in these shoes, if you just like Kanye West stuff in general, you should be checking out Sneaker News, Kicks on Fire, Soul Collector, all of those separate sneaker media companies, so that way you guys can stay updated with the news on when the sneaker is going to drop. Now, as you guys already know, if you enjoy these daily sneaker drawing videos and basketball discussions, make sure to leave a like on this video, and if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, bounce past that bell to get post notifications. More importantly than all of that, however, guys, you guys already know that if you like the stencil that you see on the screen, or if you like any of the stencils that you see in my videos, I have them all available on my website, KicksArt.com. That website, that beautiful, wonderful website, is your #1 source for free sneaker stencils. Why? Because there's over 230 free sneaker stencils available. And the best part about it is, if there's a stencil that you want to see added to the website that's not already available, you can send a request to the contact tab at the top of the page. Especially if there's a sneaker that is definitely going to have a lot of anticipation or hype coming with it that have been recently announced. You guys already know that I'm going to take advantage of that, make a stencil for it, have a video uploaded that same day, if not the following day, so that way you guys get that stencil ASAP. Now, recently I've been getting a number of comments as well as emails about you guys requesting different sneakers for the videos and stuff. I do have to reiterate this point. Unfortunately, when it comes to video requests, I'm not really taking any at the moment. There are some outlier times where it's like, oh, that's actually a really good idea because it's relevant, but as I mentioned before in a previous video, I think it was last month or something, when it comes to the videos, my strategy is to either do videos on sneakers that are recently announced, such as this one for example, or sneakers that are about to drop, and or sneakers that are just fire in general, so that way it helps me with the algorithm, so that way people who do not know about my videos can start to find me. And since making the videos is the most grueling process out of KicksArt in general throughout my day, since it is a daily process, I should have the biggest say as to what I make, especially if it's gonna make me the most happy, and if it's something that takes me the most amount of time to do it, I should enjoy what I do. So that's my justification on that. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. That being said, you guys always know that if you ever want to request a stencil for the website, by all means go ahead and do that, and I should be able to get to it within that same week because I'm uploading 2 new stencils a day. My goal is by the end of this year to have over 400 stencils added to the website. Then my long-term milestone, I guess not even long-term, my end of next year milestone is to have over 1,000 sneaker stencils on the website. That is going to be nuts. I'm super excited about it, and I know you guys are too. As I had brought up in the beginning of this video, what are my expectations? What are my hopes, my dreams, my goals for this upcoming NBA season? Because as you guys probably know by now, I love the NBA. I love basketball in general, but obviously when we're talking about basketball, we're really talking about the NBA because that is the peak, the upper echelon, the pinnacle of basketball in the world, not just the United States, but in the world. Before I talk about my expectations for the league as a whole, let me stick with my home team, my Orlando Magic. Let's talk about what my expectations are for them as a team. This goal of mine for the team is definitely going to be reaching it, but I would love to just see a winning season. Like, can we please try to make that a possibility? Obviously, having a winning record, so 42 wins in a season in the East, would automatically put us in playoff contention. If I am being objective, like, we're not going to get that. Like, I know that, okay? We're definitely not going to get into the playoffs, but, you know, we should at least strive for that. At least, you know, we're not going to win a chip. I already know that. But the playoffs should be the benchmark of where we should be trying to get, because we haven't made the playoffs in like 6 years at least. We haven't really had a winning season in like 7 years. So I just want to see my team do good. I don't want to see them suck. Not now. You know, we actually have some potential. We need a lot more pieces, obviously. The only real pieces that we have are Mo Bamba, because we just drafted him. We have Aaron Gordon, who's probably going to leave sometime soon if he isn't happy with the team. We have that Isaac kid that we got 2 seasons ago. He's like super tall, but they didn't really utilize him. We've had so many head coaches. I just want to see the team do good. That's all I want. Is that too hard to ask? I don't think so. Let's transition over from my team and let's just look at the Eastern Conference in general, because we already know that the Western Conference for so many years has been a complete powerhouse. They have been the better conference out of the two, and that's not just been that way for the past few years. That's pretty much been that way ever since the Bulls era. So unfortunately, that's kind of what we're dealing with here. But this season in and of itself is very unique. For one reason, LeBron James is not in the East. That is a huge deal, because unless you guys are living under a rock, he's kind of been to the finals 8 straight times at the expense of every other team in the Eastern Conference. Poor Raptors fans, I'm so sorry, but you guys kind of got really crapped on multiple times by the king. But what makes this season very interesting, especially for the East, is that we have multiple teams that look like they can do a lot of work in the playoffs and potentially have some success in the finals, depending on who they're going up against. If it's against the Warriors, all bets are off unless it's maybe the Celtics. But aside from that, other teams could potentially make some serious noise. We already know that the Celtics are fully healthy. They did very well last season, missing their all-star backcourt. So now that they have everybody healthy and they still have the head coach, they still have that great system that they're under, they should be expected to make it out of the East. Okay, they're the favorites for sure. But and my goal is, and this is what I want to see, I want to see the Eastern Conference to be a fight. I don't want to see one team just make it all the way past the end, not really having too much contention. I want to see the Raptors also do really good, and I want to see Philadelphia do really good as well. As we all know, Philadelphia has Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, and it looks like Marco Fultz is actually kind of have some confidence in his shot. He's taken a few shots in the preseason. He's actually played some decent minutes in the preseason. At the end of last season, he had that one game where he had a triple-double, and that was back when he couldn't shoot, supposedly. So he could be a very interesting piece. I actually think he's the main key to their team. Not that he's the best player, but if he does well, they're going to have a very good season. When I say very good, I mean like they could make it all the way to the conference finals, assuming he's playing at the level that he should be in, because, you know, he was kind of the #1 draft pick 2 seasons ago, so he definitely has a lot on his shoulders in terms of living up to the hype. Toronto doesn't have DeMar DeRozan anymore. Instead, they kind of have this guy named Kawhi Leonard, which before his injury was known as either the 2nd or 3rd best player in the world. Okay, not in the Western Conference, in the world. So he is legit. Now, I do think it's going to take a few games, maybe even a month for him to readjust to the playing of the NBA, because he kind of only played like 9 games last season, so he does have to get into the swing of things. But naturally, he's an all-around solid player on both ends of the floor, offense and defense. So if we're talking about DeMar DeRozan being the best player on that Raptors team that made it to the #1 seed in the Eastern Conference, he is a major upgrade. The only X factor is, what is our intentions with the team? Is he planning on staying? Is he kind of, you know, making the face right now to seem like everything's cool just because he knows in the back of his head when the time comes he will leave? I don't know what's going through his mind. I don't think anybody knows. Here's what I do know though. If he chooses to stay with that team, they're going to be really good. Okay, they also got Danny Green, and I believe they also got Greg Monroe. And guys, like I already said this, they were the #1 seed in the East last season, okay? They've made major improvements in their lineup because of the pieces that they added. Assuming Kawhi wants to actually stay there, if not this season, they will be a force for the next few seasons to come. Kawhi is still under 30 years old, okay? And this guy's playing at elite level when he's healthy. Like, they're a legit team. Now, I do have to pay respect to a few of the teams that could make the Eastern Conference very interesting. I'm looking at you, Indiana. You guys went 7 games against the Cavs last season, and you guys definitely had the best chance of eliminating them. Obviously, Boston had their chance, but, you know, with their all-star backcourt injured, there was no way LeBron was losing at Game 7 in the conference finals. I didn't feel like, at least. So yeah, Indiana's looking really good. I also think Washington should be really good as well. Really good relative to the East, not relative to like the entire NBA, of course. They added Dwight Howard. Assuming he has any of the skills that he had back when he was in Orlando, or he's playing at a somewhat decent level, he is a great asset to the team. I'm also going to give the quick nod to Milwaukee. Giannis is just a beast. There's no other way around it. He's just a beast. Like, that's all we can say. Because this did go a little bit longer than I thought, I'm actually going to save my thoughts on the Western Conference for tomorrow's video, since I think that warrants a video in and of itself, especially since I spent this much time talking about the East. So guys, make sure you check out tomorrow's video. You guys already know that I'm uploading daily content, so I will see you guys tomorrow. Yay!